Through archaeology, researchers can use the objects left behind by ancient peoples to understand more about our world. People have been living in Mongolia for at least 40,000 years, and possibly much longer. For the majority of that time, hunters and gatherers relied on wild plants and animals for their survival. However, between 5,000 and 7,000 years ago, people living in the region began to herd domesticated animals. One of the most important questions archaeologists are currently trying to answer is when, why, and how people began this transition, forever changing the people and landscape of Mongolia.
Shifting from wild to domestic foods changed not only the diet of ancient people, but also their environment, their ceremonial practices, their relationship to animals, and their interactions with others. Compared to hunters and gatherers, herders had to move around the land in different ways, take advantage of different natural resources, select different places to live, and develop new ways to mark and defend their territory. Owning land and livestock also meant that humans developed new forms of wealth and power. Understanding this shift from hunting to herding is critical to understanding modern societies in Mongolia and around the world.
Some of the oldest evidence for domestic animals in Mongolia comes from an ancient culture known as the Deerstone Hyrugsur culture. Beginning around 3,200 years ago, stone monuments known as deerstones and Hyrugsurs were built across the steppes of Mongolia, as well as nearby areas of Kazakhstan, Siberia, and China. Hyrugsurs are large stone mounds that contain human burials. Deer stones are often found together with Hyrugsurs. These tall stone pillars get their name from the beautiful deer images carved on many of the stones, including the replicas you see standing here in this museum hall.
Although we have no written records from this time period, most deer stones and Hyrugsurs are surrounded by small stone structures containing the bones of horses, the skull, jaw, hooves, and neck. These horses are some of the oldest evidence for horse herding and riding in Mongolia. By studying these ancient sites and the horses that come from them, archaeologists at the National Museum have begun to understand when people first started herding horses in Mongolia and the different ways in which they were used.
Over the last few years, museum researchers have used 3D scanners to produce detailed, high-resolution models of horse bones from deer stones and Hyrugsurs. Using these models, they are able to identify unique changes to the animal's skull which are caused by horseback riding. For example, this horse has a large depression on the bridge of its nose, which was caused by pressure from a bridle. By taking tiny samples from each horse, it is also possible to identify just how many years ago each of these animals died. Using this information, archaeologists now think that the first riding horses spread across Mongolia around 1200 BCE, several hundred years before the earliest historical evidence for horse riding in some other areas of the world. This research is just one piece of a larger research effort to understand Mongolia's ancient past.
Archaeologists are also investigating burials, rock art, and settlements using a wide variety of methods including excavation, survey, aerial photography, and ethnoarchaeology, the study of present-day people to help understand the archaeological record. Each research project contributes new insight into the past and helps us understand the ancient lifeways of Mongolia and their role in the story of human history.